Hey guys, this is Crystal Poindexter in Crystal Poindexter Podcast. We are still showing the healing, guys. I cannot wait to see what God is going to do today, guys. We have a special guest today. My mother is here all the way from Dallas, Texas, guys. This is part 2 of the healing, guys. All right, back to where it was. Everything good to go? Mm-hmm. No, you good? You good? Shirt look good? Yep, we good. Look at my little coffee stain. All right. Hey guys, I'm Crystal Poindexter.
I'm Rossetta, her mother. It's good to be here.
All right. So, what I would do is God gave me this podcast, and it's as He's cleaning me up and healing me from things, even that's things that I'm not even aware of. You came to my spirit. He brought it to me and told me to invite you to come. And I knew He was going to touch your heart and got you down here. You're here now. Welcome to Georgia.
Thank you, baby.
I enjoy seeing you. The whole thing.
We planned this for some time.
And it worked out right when it needed to. So I will say, I don't remember much, but I have questions on as far as like everything.
Okay.
Because nobody really, everybody, you have this side and that side and then the side. So what I say is, first thing I want to ask you is, from my understanding, what was I like as a baby?
Greedy. You ate all the time. You were eager to learn. Fell asleep eating a lot in your walker. You was a fast walker when you started. You never stopped when you picked up a ball. It was a long time before you put it down.
Like a basketball?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, wow. See, learn something. Oh, my, I didn't even, see, I didn't know any of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I would like talk and I would ask, but nobody could really answer that. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to know, what was I like as a kid? What was I like as the whole thing? Because for a while, I felt I was deprived from it because nobody could answer those questions. And I'm like, well, what can I say? I seen baby pictures around, and I'm like, well, I'm never wearing these baby pictures. I'm always with my grandma. Mm-hmm. So it built like a void. But I never knew what that was, honestly, until I started to see Christ. And then it's like it pulls everything that you suppress out of you.
Yes.
And it's like I can't even not face it. So instead of running from my problems, I feel like I'm taking them head on. On a weekday, on a strong day, I'm standing straight in front of it and like, we're going toe to toe because I want to be healed, and not only for myself, for other people who may do it. I believe you and I have a unique story.
Yes.
I am your firstborn.
Yes, you are.
So tell people what you would like to say as far as your testimony.
Well, as far as my testimony goes, you were my firstborn. I moved from Texas to California when you were just an infant. Never been taken out of Texas, so I got homesick. I was only 16 years old. So time went on, and you were a few years older, and we were separated. For whatever reason, you were not able to come to Texas and back to California and so forth. And somewhere along the way, we lost touch, and I couldn't find you nowhere. Mm-hmm. Everybody looked for you. We did not find you until you graduated from high school. Mm-hmm. I believe you graduated from high school. Mm-hmm. And that was like the most exhilarating time of my entire life. Mm-hmm. My whole family, my sister, your other siblings, my mother. And so that's when our life really began.
Mm. And see, it's funny how God works, because I can only imagine what that would have been like for you to bear birth and then not know where.
Yeah, I had so many dreams after that happened. It was the same reoccurring dream. I would get to the edge of a mountain and I would wake up because I feel like I'm falling. Mm-hmm. And it was that same dream. I never did, right to this day. I could not understand why I had that dream. But I started having that dream once I thought I lost you. Mm. And so I can't even tell you when it stopped, but I do remember that dream.
Mm. Do you still have that dream now?
I do not.
You
no,
don't?
I don't. It's just It was so much adrenaline flowing through my body when I knew I was going to meet you. I felt like it was the first time all over again. Because when I gave birth to you, of course, you know, your dad first, my first, and we walked, and your mom, his mom was there. It was beautiful. The delivery room was amazing. I had a full view of the city. That didn't really matter to me at the time, but yeah, it was beautiful. And so, you know, and here we are.
Oh, wow. I looked it up. I'm going to tell you, eager to learn is what you said in the beginning. I'm still that today because I always had so many questions. Like, why don't I look like everybody else? Like, why do I think differently? I move differently. Everything about me, I always felt on the outside. And though I didn't know, I was not taught, I was not informed, I wasn't like, this is that, and this, no, none of that, right? So when you came, my world was going this way, and it went upside down. And as a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, I didn't know what to do with it, so I suppressed it. And I was like, well, I'll deal with it one day. But one thing I'll say is the moment when we first laid eyes on each other, you was at my grandmother's house, mommy's house. I walked through the door, and you were sitting on the couch. I just stopped, and I was like, she has my face. She has my entire... she has my entire face. And I didn't know what to do from that point. And then you said, hey, Muffin. And I was like, I know you. Like, that's one thing I felt on the inside. I was nervous. I was like, I know you. Why do I know you? But, you know, over time, you know, it makes sense. But I didn't know what to do with those emotions. So now, the older I got, the more I was like, I don't care about whatever happened. Because at the end of the day, like, I am yours. You are mine. I grew in your belly. So I took this opportunity when God gave it to me. I didn't know I needed to be healed in the area, but I did, because what it did was leave a small void that no matter who's in my life, nobody could touch it. And God feels it, he covers it, but he also let you know it's something that you're going to have to go back, get healed from, so I can go, you know. So I just try to do what he's asking. I don't always know what he's going to do, let me say that, but I do know, like, he gives a little piece. And I'm like, okay, even if I don't want to, like, okay, or even if I feel, as I told you this morning, I grow in uncomfortability. As much as I don't care to be uncomfortable, it's like I welcome it in so much, because once that uncomfortable feeling goes away, it's like a growth that happens. So in this moment, I'm not gonna say it's uncomfortable, but what I say is it's a whole bunch of unknown. You just told me 2 or 3 things that I didn't even know. So I'll go back and I'll say to you, like, when you first met me, what was your first thoughts? Well, not first met me, but, you know, reintroduced.
When you were when we were reintroduced and I saw you, I was just speechless, you know. And then when I call you Muffin, because when you were a baby, I used to call you Muffin all the time, and you know, that was my nickname for you. I used to, before we get to this part, I used to act like I was sewing invisible like this, and that would tickle the mess out of you. I just act like, and I do like this, you like, it was the funniest thing ever. So when I saw you, and I said Muffin, and you just like, it's almost like we couldn't move. I was stuck for a minute. I just have to snap out of it, and you know, we hugged and we moved from there. And I didn't even know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what you thought of me. I thought maybe, you know, I hope she didn't think I abandoned her, and because it was nothing like that. You and our dad lived in two different states, and I just decided I didn't want to be away from my family, but we couldn't separate you. So, you know, for a while you come get on an airplane, come back here, go there, and you know, eventually I guess something gave, and that was it. So when I found out the woman that you became, I was like, oh, she's so smart. I'm like, she gotta get that for me. Because I am eager to learn as well. Like, you know, you do. I can sit up and watch TV and learn something, and then the things that you teach me, it's like you never stop learning. You never stop growing. So, you know, when I met you and I saw all that, and then I learned that you played basketball, I said, oh my gosh. And then when you came to Texas, that was a whole new different story.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of it. Like, I thought that I would not have nothing to say. Like you said, we were stuck. I really was. Like,
I was too.
I didn't know what to say. And it's like, I think you're gonna be the only person to understand. Like, in that moment when we were reintroduced, I came with zero knowledge. Unknowingly, I had some knowledge, but it was kind of like everything stopped moving for a second. It was just real slow, and I was just like, "Oh yeah, I know you." Like, I don't know why or how, but I know you. And then I was like, all right, well, no, I didn't think that you abandoned me. I didn't understand. I think I had more questions than I had answers. And even when I would try to ask, it's more so like people push that away. Or like, like, just don't ever think she ain't love you. And I was like, okay, but what happened? Like, it's nobody just loses a child, in my opinion. And so somewhere along the lines, communication, something happened because both of us paid a price for that.
Yes.
I believe that.
Well, no disrespect to anyone. Your father and I were kids. He's a little older than I was, but I was only 16. And your grandmother, his mother, played a real big role in that. She pretty much controlled the narratives. So when I lost touch with you, I just happened to go to California one day and went to the place where you guys were staying and nobody was there. So I couldn't find you nowhere. I contacted his dad, wrote letters and letters and letters and letters. Nothing. And then, this time went on from there. My whole entire family was looking for you. We couldn't find you nowhere. I guess we didn't have the right resources. So, that's how it actually happened. He was not going to lose his baby, and I was not going to lose mine. So I guess when they moved, that information wasn't given to me. I don't know if they couldn't find me. I don't really know that. I find it hard to believe, but that was a long time ago. Don't tell me what happened. But yeah, it's like the two families went this way. And your father wanted something that I was not ready for at that time. But I wanted my baby. But I couldn't take my baby away from him. So they just moved, and that's where the story began.
So co-parenting from two different states.
Yes.
So it was a lot of flights going on.
Yes.
That's probably why I like flights now.
Yeah, and you were on there by yourself.
Really?
Yeah, you would get on there with a stewardess, you get off, you pick you up, and yeah, we did that for a little bit.
Wow. I didn't even know they did stuff like that. Wow. So how old was I the last time you seen me?
You weren't even in elementary yet. You was a toddler still. When I started going back to Texas, you had just started walking, so you had to have been like around 2. So no more than 3, 4, that was it. Say about 3 years old, that was it. I couldn't find my baby no more.
And then over time, I had to ask myself, after I met you, I was reintroduced to you May 20th, 2005. So we talked on the 19th. And at first I wasn't going to do it. I'm like, well, I don't understand. Like, and wasn't nobody trying to break it down to me as a 17-year-old. And I was so sheltered that it literally turned up. That's what do you mean? Like, it made sense to me, if I got to be honest, because I always felt on the outside of things. It's not saying I lack love in my household.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's not saying, it's just an internal thing where I'm like, something's missing. Like, y'all don't get what I'm trying to say. Like, something's missing. So whenever it came about, I was like, okay, this could be that something. But I did not quite understand either. So the questions that I would ask, it was more so quick stuff, like microwave answers. But I wanted to know, rewind the tape. What happened? All right, tell me this about me, or tell me this. Because there's so many stories that I can hear about children growing up, or parents say something. I'm like, but I don't know none of that stuff. Like, I thought when did I start talking? Do I have first words? I didn't even see my newborn pictures. I seen probably a 1-year-old picture within the past 3 years for the first time.
Yeah, I can believe that.
So it's like almost as if my entire childhood didn't happen, but it happened.
It did. As a matter of fact, when we moved from Texas to California, your father and I lived with his father. And that's when I experienced my first earthquake.
In California? An earthquake?
Yes. And your crib was just bouncing everywhere.
Oh, you gotta say that again. You gotta speak louder.
Your crib. When I experienced my first earthquake in California, your crib was just bouncing everywhere, and I'm just like, the floor was literally moving, and I'm having to grab my baby's crib, and that was an experience. And you didn't even get scared. You just like looking around like, what's going on? And then you do this.
My dad hated that. He hated that with so much passion. He would say, take that thumb out of your mouth.
You get it from your mama.
Man, it took a while to break.
Me too.
It took a while to break.
It took me 16 years.
I'm not going to tell you my age. I can sit on mine. I'm not even going to tell you. I'm not even. We'll talk about this off camera. But yeah, that was a habit that I asked my grandma about that. Mommy, I said, how long have I been sucking my thumb? Yeah, guys, I said it. I said, how long was I sucking my thumb? She said, honestly, you started after your mom left. So I was like, really? And then when I hear you say, like, nah, the first thing you said was, not the first thing, but the first few conversations when you first seen me suck my thumb back at 18 years old at that time. He was like, when did you start doing that? I'm like,
Yeah, I think you kind of like, what they say, unconsciously. Because you would do it when you were a baby, but you just didn't do it often. I thought it was more like you just doing like this opposed to, going full-fledged. But, yeah. Actually, that's a long line.
Generations?
My mother, my oldest sister, me, my baby sister. Yeah.
Thumb suckers.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
Some of my cousins. Yes, generation. Yeah.
And you're right. I can remember. It wasn't like I just did it all the time. It was more so when I was getting tired or something, or had a lot on my mind. I would definitely do it.
It was like a comfort thing when I did it. It was like you know how some kids have blankies or whatever. We had our thumbs.
Just take it anywhere you want to go. I did mine in private. Unless you was kind of with me in that area, you didn't see that. Yeah, but that's one of the things my dad, if he could throw anything in the trash, he would definitely do that. They tried everything from hot sauce to little droppings of things that made my mouth spicy. I remember being in elementary when we was in Indiana, and I would put it in my mouth, and I'd be like, well, the taste will eventually go away, so I would just suck it till it got diluted, and I'd just be like, all right, it's good now. But yeah, they all hated it. But I will say, Grandma Betty Bell,
my sweetheart.
She was everybody's sweetheart. She was the reason to say, Crystal, you formulate your own opinion. She was like, I knew someday this was gonna come out. If you don't want to do it for yourself or do it for her, do it for me, because I would hate to leave this earth and know that y'all should have never been separated in the first place. So I listened to her. I spent a lot of my childhood with her. I remember coming from elementary and I was going to her house. Lee was going back to her house. So when I got older, I'm gonna go back to it. When I got older, I used to ask my everybody, my grandma was like, "Why was I always with you and I wasn't with them?" But it's a lot of untold stories. That's why I say a lot of my childhood, I don't really know, and I don't care who has something to say, but I don't really know. Like I have more holes than anything. But I'll say this: when Grandma said do it, I said, "All right, I'm gonna do it." And it might have been the most confusing, but it was honestly the most wholeness ever. So when we look back at it then and look at it today, I'm glad that you had the courage to do it, because if not, I would have never have known. I would have always felt like I was like on the outside of things, like even with family. Like I say, I know that's slug, you know what I'm saying? That's my family. But I would always feel, this is them, give me your hand. This is them, this is me. I'm not in it. I'm like this. Like we connected, but I'm always right here.
Not in there.
Yeah, and then when I met you, it was more so like I'm in now.
Yes.
You get it? So even though, and it's uncomfortable on both sides, and my truth, this is the things I probably don't say out loud, is I feel on the outside there, but I also feel on the outside in Texas with my family as well, because I don't know anybody. I know who calls and who checks up or who I check on and stuff like that, but I'm also on the outside of that too. The only time I actually feel on the inside is when we're just chilling one-on-one or when we talk. I'm like, I don't know.
What's going on with you? How you been? What's good? Tell me something new.
That's it. That just kind of make me.
Well, you were born in Texas, moved to California, first moved to Rancho Cucamonga. Then we moved.
That's a real place. I thought that was just on Friday.
Then we moved to Cerritos.
Mm-hmm.
He and I got our place in Long Beach. And the rest is history. From there, I believe that's when I found out that you guys had moved to Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And I never been there.
Indiana?
We didn't connect until you moved to Atlanta.
How did y'all meet in the first place if y'all live in two different states?
No. We met in Texas.
My dad lived in Texas?
Yes.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that.
Him and his mom lived in Texas. That's how I met him. He stayed at one end of the street. I stayed at the other.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Okay, I mean, there's that. That's a question answer. Because
I was TV watching.
Lord have mercy. I sure wanted to know. Well, how did y'all meet anyway? But okay, that's one thing. But
yeah, he's a child. He was a child.
Yeah. When I look back at old stuff or I like hear like stories about him, I'm like, this guy, this guy, this daddy. But he's a loving and caring person. He really is. He's quiet. I definitely get y'all both quiet. Mm-hmm. Y'all both quiet people. So when people I got a piece and a piece to make a whole, like literally.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I literally do. But is there anything that during that time of separation and stuff like that, I really can't. I don't think nobody can put themselves in your shoes because, like I said, it's a very unique story. Not on my behalf now, but on yours.
Yeah, when that happened to me, my life changed. Things started happening that, honestly, at this very moment, I couldn't even tell you everything that happened that I went through. I must have just suppressed it, put it in the back of my head or whatever, because the bad things are the ones that you push down or you just don't want to just get in front of or address or whatever. So, yeah, I went through a lot, and then I had more children. But, yeah, life went on. The only thing that really kept me was God. He just helps me through things without me even knowing, You always hear people saying, just pray about it and have faith, this, that, and the other. And never really grasp that until it actually happens to you. Mm-hmm. And you're put in that position to do that. And, when I stopped worrying, that's when things started. That's when I found you. Mm. And it took my baby sister that really she had the time to do it. She had more resources than I did. She knew where to look more than I did. And the day she came and told me, I found Crystal. Mm. I said, what? Wait, where is she? She's in Atlanta. I said, we're going to Atlanta. Everybody packed up.
Yeah, it happened fast.
It did.
It happened real fast. Guys, I'll tell you, when we say fast, I got home from school, they said, your mom wants to meet you. And I was looking like, my mom's upstairs, what y'all talking about? They was like, no, your mom wants to meet you. And I'm like, they said, talk to her on the phone. I got on the phone with her. That next, afternoon? We talked in the evening, mm-hmm. And then that next afternoon, it was a 16-hour drive.
It was.
So basically, when we hung up the phone, she got in the car.
Yes. I grabbed two of my sisters, but no, the baby sister didn't come. I grabbed my oldest sister, her two kids, your siblings, and we hit the road.
Yep.
That's when I found out some of my nephews can drive. I was like, wait, what? You can drive? Come on.
That's a long job.
It was. But determination will get you anywhere.
I see. And then as I'm older now, looking back on it, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
At that time, especially I went to college right after, I was like, man, they couldn't wait for a while, or they couldn't do this before. Like, why now? Because I was already about to be separated from my dad now. Because I was always with them.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to college in a whole nother state. So I was just like, it really was confusing. But I have, like I say, God has a way of turning all bad into good. You know, so what the enemy might have meant for bad, God did turn it for the good. And it might have took 17 years or 14 years rather, or however, it still came back around now. And it's like, I don't know, it's unshakable. Like, it's
true. I was bitter too for a moment. And then, you know, after some time, I just was like, for what? I'm going to see my baby again.
Yeah. Oh, to my, after?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, I bet.
I'm a Gemini, I hold grudges.
Well, yeah, it did work around.
I have to ask him upstairs to help me. So, yeah. But, yeah, it worked out beautifully, might I add.
It did. I remember when y'all went back after I graduated and y'all went back, it was a part of me that wanted to just jump in front of the car and be like, don't leave me again. But I had to play cool, you know. I was always like, if it's meant, it's meant. That's all I got to say, because I really wanted to just jump in front of the car and be like, take me with you, don't leave me again, move down here. I wanted to say anything that can get you to stay longer, but I was like, too cool for school at that time. Like, I was like,
oh, it was written on your face, I knew.
You knew?
I knew. I said, oh, you don't want me to leave.
They're going to have me crying. Tissue over here. I would never want you to leave 2 days. You came down here 2 days this time. I was like, this still ain't enough time to do something.
I know.
Yeah, this ain't, I mean, but the more we see, yeah. You're going to have my, these lashes finna get loose. Yeah, I don't. I feel like I missed too much already. So when I get the chance, I'll be on it. I know we still live in, I think, what did you say, as a child? We lived in 2 different states, and as adults,
we live in 2 different states.
Yeah, I guess child did too.
Yeah.
And adult now, we still live in 2 different states. So, you know, we can when we can, but you're always missed.
And you are too.
I love you.
I love you more. Wait, I loved you first.
I know it. All right, so that's the end of that one, because my lashes finna get loose. Cut.
Oh, I was trying to hold back.
I'm trying to hold mine.
Man,
Baby.
listen. So we can
Wait, it fixed. The one that you pushed back.
Up here?
Yeah. Yep. All right. Back.
Ready?
Yep.
All right, so I have a question. What was your childhood like?
All over the place.
What you mean?
My mom was a single mom. She had all her children. We were spread out. And I stayed with everybody. Basically, I feel like as an adult, I had to learn on my own. To be honest, I feel like the streets taught me. If it wasn't for schooling, I would probably be somewhere out there. If it wasn't for schooling and going to church, that saved me. And I'm always eager to learn. So I was never, one of those students that just didn't want to or didn't feel like they could or wanted to. I always did. So when I had you, I dropped out of school. My childhood, I can't even tell you I remember. That's how dramatized I was. I don't remember my childhood at all. I just remember when I became a teenager. Some of those things I prefer to block out, but I mean, it's life. You get through it, you move on. But I dropped out of school after I had you. They teased me so bad in California, country talking.
Yeah.
So I was real timid then. So I dropped out. But I did not want a GED. So even though it was online, I went back to school and did all 4 years.
Wow.
I got my high school diploma in 2014.
Come on now.
I wanted a diploma.
Yeah.
And went straight to college after that.
I'm not mad at you. Come on now.
I want to do it.
So if you had something to say to any of the women as words of encouragement, because I do believe God is healing me, even in areas I forgot about or don't even know about, right? I believe he's also using this to heal you. So is there anything, words of encouragement to anybody who could possibly be going through the same thing now?
Well, first and foremost, you have to always keep God first. Because you can't get through anything without him. Never give up on what you believe in. Never give up on yourself. Because as long as you stay strong in that and keep waking up, you will go further.
Amen. Amen. He'll do it, man. It may not always look like it, but he's always working.
You have to have patience. And I lack in that area very much so.
Me and you both.
But when it's something that you really want to do, you'll wait. You'll find the time. You'll find patience and courage and strength and everything that you need.
One of the scriptures that bring me like a lot of pieces, it's in Deuteronomy. It's that he'll never leave nor forsake. He goes ahead of you, but he's also with you, and he'll never leave and never forsake. So it like brings peace in an area where I feel like I never know who's gonna be here, how long they gonna be here, what do you really want? Why? Who sent you? Like that's how I be feeling sometimes. Like I really don't know who to trust, not fully, but I'll say it makes sense now. Hearing a little bit now, and then thank you for answering unanswerable questions. But these are the type of things I would ask God, like what kind of but he does things in amazing ways. Like he shows up for your girl, man. I'm telling you. But I'll say this: if I had anything to say to somebody, whenever you feel lonely, know God is with you. Whenever things don't make sense, know God is with you. Whenever it just seems like things are left and right, back to back to back, God is with you. He'll never leave nor forsake you. So he told me last week, he said, you keep going, I'll keep growing. So when I don't feel like I have the strength to do it, or I feel like, don't nobody really understand. Like, I ain't got it for people sometimes. Like, I just don't. So I just be like, you know what? Just get up and keep going. Just keep going, because it's going to reach a point in just this short amount of time. He done got you here. I got questions that were questions of my entire teenage years, as well as 20s and most of my 30s. They're finally getting answered. So that's why I said he's healing. And if he's doing it for me, I know he'll do it for you too.
Oh yes, no doubt. And also, help is always good around you, here on earth. But we have to all remember that our main source really comes from him.
Amen.
You just can't ignore that at all. Be careful, just like you said, you find it hard to trust people. I'm the same way, because I've seen so many wolves in sheep clothing. They can quote the Bible from beginning to end, from Genesis to Revelation. But you just have to, you'll feel it inside.
Discerning.
Yeah, you will feel that. So just keep God first and the rest to follow.
That's so good. I didn't even have nothing to say. I want to let you keep talking. That's so good. But I thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
I know it was uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for me each time. But we pushed through it, and, to God be the glory. I pray people hear us, but hear God. I pray that as y'all see us, y'all see this is God moving. We were separated, still kids. As you heard her say, she was a teenager, I was a toddler, but God brought us back. And now look, we're on this podcast now to begin the healing.
Amen.
Amen. That was good. That end was real good. He spoke through that thing. I felt that.
He said it. He said.
You say what? You started it. You was about to let it loose?
I was about to let it loose. Voice was trembling. Hands started shaking. I'm perspiring. My jeans with it.